Okay, so we recruit exclusively for Aguinaldo. Sorry, we recruit exclusively for United Methodist Healthcare Recruitment Services based in Chicago. You may want to check on United Methodist. Okay, so when we say we recruit exclusively, it means we were set up to recruit nurses and caregivers and other health workers as like physical therapists, physiotherapists for United Methodist alone. Now, when we recruit you, we are recruiting you for United Methodist in the United States. And so United Methodist is your future employer. Now, United Methodist Healthcare Recruitment Services has successfully provided many qualified healthcare workers to non-profit healthcare organizations since 2005. United Methodist Healthcare Recruitment Services, short UMHR, started as a source of nurses for Chicago Methodist Senior Services and skilled nursing and rehabilitation services, but has since expanded to help other nonprofit with their staffing needs. You can get a lot more story about United Methodist Healthcare Recruitment Services from their website. You get a lot of information there. But just to drop a hint, United Methodist Healthcare Recruitment Services is the recruitment wing of Chicago Methodist Senior Services. Now, Chicago Methodist Senior Services is a 125-year-old facility in Chicago. They are known by various names like Wesley Place, and so on and so forth. If you have relatives in Chicago, ask them to check Chicago Methodist Senior Services. So UMHR, which is the recruitment agency, is owned by Chicago Methodist Senior Services. And Chicago Methodist Senior Services was founded in 1898. 1898. At least 125, 126 years today, by a woman called Alice Hartwell. Apologies. It's been raining where I am, and so the internet may be on and off. Please bear with us. It's been raining where I am. All right, so I got to ownership of UMHR. UMHR is owned by Chicago Methodist Senior Services. And Chicago Methodist Senior Services was founded in 1898 by Alice Hartwell, who sought to provide a home and care to older adults in need. Over the past 125 years, about 126 years by this September, Chicago Methodist has provided care, programming, and services to tens and thousands of older adults and their families. You can get a lot more information when you visit Chicago Methodist Senior Services. That's their website, www.cmsschicago.org/archives. On your screen now are our incorporation certificate in Ghana and our license to provide recruitment services in Ghana. Now, the rest of the story, you know what to do now. I want to jump and go to the key point. Now, you are gathered here, and this meeting is called for those of you who have been able to take at least 2 tests and have passed and have submitted your resume, your CV, and you have received an offer letter. Yes, you have received an offer letter. You have signed and submitted your offer letter. There are some of you who had actually gone the extra step of paying for your medicals. So the next steps is your pre-employment medical examination. Recruitment is basically employment. And with every employment worth a salt, we want to get the best from our staff. And so we want to be sure you are healthy, but most importantly, you don't have any health condition that will prevent you from getting a United States visa to go and live in the US. And I want you to listen carefully. Should you have any medical condition presently, we will have enough time to help you address it before your time of visa interview at the US Embassy comes. So if you have signed an offer letter but you are yet to pay, you will need to pay the appropriate fees that is shown in the breakdown of fees you received in your email accompanying the offer letter, in the designated bank account only. We don't receive cash. We don't receive any payment by any other means. Very soon, we hope to, in fact, very soon we'll introduce a mobile money payment option. But for now, all payments must go to the bank. And you already have the bank details. So when you finish making payment, you are to email a copy of the evidence of payment to medicals@aguinaldogh.com. Once you receive the payment, in about 5 to 10 days from the day we receive the payment, you are going to receive an email. We'll send you a letter which you must take to our designated medical laboratory called CNLab Ghana, their head office in Accra, for your medical examination. But before you go, we will need to schedule you. And when we schedule you, you're going to receive a letter in your mail. If you have not received a letter yet, just be patient, it will come. I want to show you how that letter looks like in a few minutes. Let me just load one to show you. Good. So shortly on your screen, you will see a letter to come addressed to CNLab Ghana Limited. A request for medical examination, and you go along to CNLab Ghana with a hard copy of this letter and your passport, a hard copy of your passport or Ghana card. Please note that they will only accept passport, the hard copy, Ghana card, the hard copy, not a passport picture, a passport on your phone, not a Ghana card on your phone, but you carry the hard copy to CNLab. They will do the medicals. They know exactly what medicals to test. Among the examination we'll be doing include chest X-ray for TB, pre-medicals covering hepatitis B, hepatitis C, HIV, RPR, but no pregnancy test for women. Then you will also be doing drug screen covering THC, cannabis, and a number of drugs. You'll also be doing FBS, fasting blood sugar, and then a physical examination. And the doctor, you will see a doctor, and the doctor will give you, in fact, will issue a medical report after the medical examination. All right, so I hope you are following. Now let's go back to the presentation. Let me make sure you are seeing my screen. All right, so should you go and there's any adverse finding, you test positive for any of the conditions, or it's not a death sentence, we will now have time to engage you and get your personal doctor, go through some steps to address those issues so that before you get to the visa point on the program, you go to the US Embassy. There's a point where we'll schedule you, in fact, not we'll schedule you. The US Embassy is going to schedule you after you have finished the course, written the final exams. We file for your green card and then another document called visa screen certificate. The green card will come from the US Immigration Service, and then the visa screen certificate will come from the US State Department. Once we get you this document, all from the government of the United States, you take it to the US Embassy. Once you receive those documents, the embassy is going to send you an email or call you on phone. We have a visa for you. Please come for an interview on this date. Before coming, visit this facility to go to do medical examination. And you're going to do medical examination and exactly what medicals you're going to do now with CNLAB, so that when there is an issue, you don't get prevented from flying to the US. We'll address it now. Okay. Now, attending to your medical examination, we will schedule you for a medical examination at CNLAB Ghana head office. You will find them in Accra, behind Golf House, and the NMC head office around Tetekwashi area in Accra. On the date we'll schedule you for your medical exams, you must arrive on your scheduled date before 9 a.m. in the morning. Because they will be doing, among the tests you'll be doing the fasting blood sugar. When it is 9 a.m. before you are going, please don't go. They will not attend to you. And then when you are going, go on an empty stomach. Do not eat before going. And then for my ladies, go when you are not in the time of the month. Go when you are not in the time of the month. When you are in the time of the month when you go, they will not complete the medical examination for you. You have to go, wait when you finish, you come back, you go there at least twice or 3 times. But when you go, you are not in the time of the month, everything will be done. You will not last more than 2 hours on the day of your appointment at CNLAB. Medical examination results and draft employment contract. Upon completing your medical examination, CNLAB Ghana will send us, Aguinaldo Ghana Recruitment Agency, they will send us your results of medical examination directly. We will then email you a copy of your medical examination. I hope you are listening and following carefully. So when you go to the medical exams, When you are done, CNLAB will send us your results before we send you a copy of the results by email. Now, when everything is done, you will also receive a draft employment contract. You will also receive a draft employment contract together with your medical examination. You will have time to discuss the contract with your attorneys, and when you feel ready, we arrange to sign. Now, once your employment contract is executed, in fact, these days, we want to move the process a bit faster. So as soon as your medical examination is through, or as soon as we schedule you, we will automatically enroll you on a 16 weeks course for either your NCLEX, for those doing the NCLEX, or CNA, whether you have paid for the course itself or not. Once you go and do the medicals, once you schedule for the medicals, we'll automatically enroll you on the 16 weeks training for your NCLEX or CNA. Now, the 16 weeks training for both NCLEX and CNA applicants, you go through a compulsory 16 weeks training online, preparatory for you for your NCLEX or CNA exams. NCLEX applicant will be flown to Manila, Philippines, 6 weeks ahead of your final NCLEX examination. In fact, with this, we have introduced some changes. You will go and spend no more than 1 month in the Philippines. You will go and spend no more than 1 month in the Philippines for the NCLEX exams. You will also take the examination before coming back to Ghana. By the way, just for your information, we just returned from the Philippines this month. We landed in Ghana on the 1st of June. We sent our second batch of nurses, registered nurses, to the Philippines, and they took their NCLEX there. We sent the first batch last year. Our second batch, we went there on the 3rd of March. We returned on the 1st of June. We plan sending our third batch September 2025. And then another batch, March 2026. CNA applicant will take their final examination in our offices in Kumasi, in Ghana. You will not fly anywhere. You only drive yourself to office in Ghana and take the final CNA exams there. Now, upon passing your NCLEX or CNA examination, we will immediately start filing for your green card. For CNAs, we'll first file separately for your permanent labor certification from the U.S. Department of Labor. Upon receipt of your green card approval, we will then file for your legally married spouse and all your children. Even if you have 10 children, they are all going to get green cards before you all leave to the US. So when you are going and you are married, you, your spouse, your legally married spouse, the key word here is your legally married spouse. So we cannot file for your boyfriend, we cannot file for your girlfriend, we cannot file for your fiancé or fiancée. You need to be legally married, and we need to provide marriage certificate. The marriage certificate is not a church one, the one issued by the Registrar General's Department. When it comes to the filing, we pay everything for you. We pay for your green card, your visa, your air ticket, plus 2 months of housing in Chicago when you arrive. But you, the applicant, you will have to pay the visa fees and air ticket of your spouse and children. Please get that distinction clear. We are responsible for you. When you pass the NCLEX or the CNA exams, we are responsible for you. We do everything to get you to the US. We also file for your spouse and children. The green card fee, we pay for it, but the visa fees for your husband or your wife, who is not our applicant, the visa fees for your children who are not our applicant, you, the applicant, will pay the fees for them. The visa fees, today the visa fees is about $250 or $300. I have forgotten the exact figure. And you will also be responsible for their air tickets. The air ticket now from Ghana to the US, a return ticket is about $2,000, $2,000 plus for one person. Of course, when the time comes, we have an arrangement where when the time comes and you don't have the money and you need our support, we can help you, pay for you when you get to the US. When they get to the US, you arrange to pay us. Now, we have received a lot of questions about the fees. You already have the fees, the breakdown of the fees, everything. How do you pay? You will pay for the program at your convenience. At your convenience means today when you have 1 CD, you pay. Tomorrow when you get 10,000 CDs, you pay. The next day when you get, the next month when you get 5,000 CDs, you pay. Pay as and when you have money. But the earlier you pay it, the faster the processes go. If you take your time, you take 10 years to pay, no wahala. But it will take 10 years and so to get to the US. So it's entirely up to you. For that reason, we do not have any deadlines, specific deadlines or timelines for you to make payment. You decide your own timelines. So you pay as and when you feel financially ready and capable. Payments, however, will be made at the exchange rate ruling on the day of your payment. This program is a United States program. It's not a Ghana program. It's not an African program. It's a United States program. All the fees you are paying go straight to the US for your examination, for your filing, for your ticketing, for accommodation. Everything is in the US. And in the US, unfortunately, they don't use Ghana cedis. I saw a comment on the page when somebody said, as soon as the fee is in the dollars, it put people off. I am so sorry for you. In the US, they don't spend Ghana cedis, so the fees will be in dollars. And when you're going to pay, you have the option of paying either the dollar. We have provided in the breakdown of the fee, you see bank details for the dollar. So if you have dollar, you can pay into the dollar. If you have CD, you pay at the exchange rate ruling on the day when you're going to make the payment. All fees paid shall be through our bank account only. And you already have the details. And by the way, wherever you are in this world, whether you're in the US, Russia, where, you can pay from anywhere in the world into the same bank account details you have. So when your relatives in the US or other places say, oh, can we get an account in the US? No. The payment goes into the account we have given you in that document, and they can pay from anywhere in the world into that account. Now, your pace on the program. We have a badging system for filing our green cards. We do not file per class. We file as and when you are ready. So while some may take long on the program, others may be faster and may not last too long on the program. It is entirely at your own pace and convenience. Let me say that again. All those who come and ask, how long will the process take? What is the duration of the program? How long is it going to take for me to get there? This is your answer. We do not file per class. We don't say today, because there are how many people on the Zoom call now, all these people must finish the course and we file for them. No. We file as and when you are ready. We file as and when you go through the course, you finish, you write the exams. If it takes you 1 month to go through the course, finish, write the exams, we file for you. If it take another 6 months, we file for the person at the end of the 6 months. If it take another 1 year, it's up to you. Okay? It's entirely at your own pace and convenience. And it is possible to change from NCLEX to CNA or from CNA to NCLEX. If you want to, you get in touch. Now, IELTS. We will use your IELTS results to file for a document called Visa Screen Certificate. This is the certificate I was referring to, that it must come from the U.S. State Department. The U.S. State Department is like the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Ghana. We only do this after we have received your green card approval. So look at the sequence. You have to go through, do your medicals, do the 16 weeks course, write the final exams, we file for your green card. When the green card approval comes, then we now file for your visa screen certificate. This is a certificate you need to have so that the U.S. Embassy will schedule you for your immigrant visa, green card, immigrant visa. As you may have seen in the breakdown of the fees, there's a provision for IELTS. NCLEX applicant will need IELTS standard academic with an overall band score of 6.5 and a speaking test of 7.0. CNAs will need IELTS general training with an overall band score of 6.0 with speaking 6.5. We, the agency, will train you, register you, and pay for you at the right time for your IELTS. We time the IELTS so that you have a valid IELTS result when you arrive in the US for license transfer from Chicago to your final assigned state. Let me explain this last part. When everything is said and done, when you are leaving Ghana, let's say there are 10 of you who are leaving on the same day, you will all arrive in Chicago. When you get to Chicago as nursing assistant or as NCLEX RNs, we will need to transfer your license from wherever state you first got it. For NCLEX applicant to register you with New Mexico Board of Nursing. For CNAs, we'll register you with Illinois State Board of Nursing, where Chicago is. So for CNAs, there will be no license transfer in the interim. But for NCLEX, we'll do a license transfer from New Mexico to Illinois. You're going to spend at least 2 to 3 months in Illinois. During this time, you go through orientation, we get to your social security number, and a whole lot of process, your driving license, and a whole lot of things you need to do in the first 3 months. Meanwhile, whilst in Chicago, you start earning your salary as though you are working full-time. In the US, we cannot pay you your full salary, or you cannot pay you formal salary if you don't have a social security number and you don't have a license as a CNA to work or as a registered nurse to work. So your license will be Illinois State Board of Nursing license. After the 2-3 months, we will now transfer you to your final home state. We have facilities in 20 states in the US, from Ohio to Washington to Illinois to Nebraska to Wisconsin to Pennsylvania and so on, 20 of them. So from Chicago or from Illinois, we'll now transfer you to your final home state. When you get there, you don't have the license of that state to practice. We'll now need to transfer your license from Chicago, Illinois, to your final home state. And we need a valid IELTS result to do that transfer. This is the reason why we time the IELTS, the time you take the IELTS in such a way so that, and you know, IELTS results last for 2 years. At the end of 2 years, it expires. So the process is going to take, the green card process is going to take like 6-8 months. The visa, when visa is available, about 3 months. So we are looking at 1.5 years to 2 years before everything will be done for you to go. At the time, if you have an IELTS results now, it would have expired. And so you need to take a new IELTS. That's why we don't ask for your IELTS from the beginning. We wait, you pass the exams, we file your green card, everything is set. We know you have about 3 months to go. We register for the IELTS, and then you take the IELTS to pass. We get your visa screen. You go for your visa interview, and you are gone. Once you have the visa screen, you are 95% guaranteed of your visa. Once you have your visa screen certificate, you are 95% guaranteed of your visa. Working hours. We work on Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. each day. We don't work on Sundays. We don't work on Saturdays. Unless we have a special program like this to give you an orientation. Otherwise, we don't work on weekends. We don't work on public holidays. And we don't definitely work at night. There are some students who prefer to call at night. You're not getting a response. You're not getting a response on weekends. All right. So in a broad view, these are the things we expect you to go through in the coming days. So first, all those who have received the offer letter, sign the offer letter, email it. It's in the email you receive. Read it carefully. It's there. Then we'll schedule you, pay for the medical exams. We'll schedule you for the exams. And then you start your training online. Everything is online. After the training, you come and write your exams. If you're a CNA in our office, light. If you're a CNA, you come and write the exams in our office. But if you are an NCLEX applicant, we'll fly you to the Philippines to write the NCLEX there. Once you pass CNA NCLEX, we file for your green card, and then later your visa, you go. Now, this is a summary of everything. There are a lot of processes involved. As we speak, your employment contract is ready. Your draft employment contract is ready. Let me share a copy with you. At the appropriate time, we're going to do a Zoom meeting like this, and we're going to go through the contract one by one, word for word. And then you're also going to get the opportunity to take the contract to your lawyers, to your family. You study carefully before you put pen to paper to sign. Okay, So this is a draft of the employment contract. It is ready. So as soon as you finish your medicals, we'll send you copies. You take your time, you study it carefully. It has everything you need in this contract. Legal services and issues, UMHS, right? Duties and responsibilities, your duties and responsibility, departure to the US, after arrival in the United States, human resource, how you get paid, and so on and so forth. If you have noticed from the beginning of my presentation, in the US, we are a not-for-profit organization. And so by law, we are not permitted to do salary deduction. We don't do salary deduction. And so when you work, you get your salary in full. There's no salary deduction. However, you will see from the breakdown of the fees, let me explain this part. You see from the breakdown of the fees you received that there are two sets of costs. The one you are bearing as an applicant to get you prepared to write the appropriate exam. So you all have this document I'm sharing on my screen now. You have all this I'm sharing on my screen now. And then you have the fees, phase one, credential certification fees, where NCLEX applicants are paying $8,000, but they have the option to pay half. Half is $4,000. And CNAs are paying $7,000. You have the option to pay half, $3,500. The other half, when you get to the US, you pay. That half, when you get to the US, we are not going to deduct it from your salary. You will pay us. You will agree with you, sign a contract, an agreement on it, and you pay according to the agreed schedule. We are not going to take it from your salary when you are working because the laws does not allow us to do that. So you get your salary in full. Now, the fees, there's medical examination fee, there's training and coaching, then there's the examination, there's biometric you'll be doing, then there's a portion for IELTS, the training, the materials, the books, everything. Then there's the portion for NCLEX applicant. So the NCLEX applicant, this is your course. CGFNS is a totally different program. There's a qualifying exams. For whatever reason, you are not able to do the NCLEX or CNA, there's the CGFNS qualifying examination. It's almost like the NCLEX. Prepare you to take that exams. It gets you a green card, it gets you a visa to go to the US. But you will go not as a registered nurse because you have not taken the NCLEX. But to make life simple, you have the NCLEX, you have the CNA. Okay, so for NCLEX applicant, there is the air ticket to and from the examination center, accommodation and feeding, everything is there. Then there's the second cost, which is phase two, the USA side of the cost. And the entire fees here are fully funded or sponsored by United Methodist Women's Services for the primary applicant only. That is, you are applicant. The applicant will have to pay for their legally married spouse and children they wish to travel with. I've explained this already. We will, however, support the filing of green cards for the spouse and children. And then we will loan you money should the need be. When you don't have money, we'll loan you money so that you can fly your spouse and children to the US. Once there, we sort ourselves out. Then there are other costs we're going to incur on you, filing for the green card, the lawyer's fee. We do something called premium processing. I have once seen somebody ask a lot of questions about premium processing and the process is too long. Can we fast track it? If you only would take the time to read, the answer has always been with you. We do premium processing. Premium processing means fast track process. So if you do the course, you finish the course, 16 weeks course online, you write the final exams, you pass. Either NCLEX or CNA will file for you. For CNAs, we first have to file for a permanent labor certification with the U.S. Department of Labor. I will soon show you what that is in a brief. Then after that, we file for something called Form I-140 with the Immigration Service. When we file that, we can pay the premium processing fee. In fact, we pay the premium processing fee, $3,100. Once we do that, within 10 to a maximum of 15 working days, we will know the results from the Immigration Service. Either they will approve it, either they will deny it, or they will need further and better particulars. We will know in 10 to 15 working days. After that, we get you your visa screen, you go for your visa interview, you are gone.
You know, today is Sunday.
So premium processing is there, your air ticket, accommodation. The air ticket depends on when we are booking it. The time we did this course, it was around 1,800. Around this time, going to the US, we pay about 2,000. Some airlines is even 2,500, some even $3,000. Then accommodation, the first 2 months in the US, the visa fee is good. The visa fees is actually $480, not the $250 I said. It's $480. All these fees does not come to us. It goes to third parties. So immigration petition for a migrant worker, $800. It goes to the Immigration Service. Attorney fees go to lawyers. When you get the draft contract, you see the lawyers. They are in there. They will do all the filing, everything to ensure that we don't make any mistake so that the process goes smoothly. Premium processing goes to the Immigration Department. Air ticket goes to the airlines. And then accommodation it goes to real estate owners. Visa fees goes to the U.S. Embassy in Accra, and so on and so forth. Orientation comes to you when you get to the U.S. Your orientation, everything. We estimate in the first 1 month how much you'll be making as orientation. So that is the breakdown. Now, so after you have finished everything, and this is just the cost we have itemized, there are other costs when you get to the US. The first 2-3 months you are in the US, it's a totally different land, different country. You have no friends, you have no relation, nothing. Your transportation to and fro, I want to go here, I want to go there, provide you transportation. You want to cook, you must go for grocery shopping. We'll get you a credit card, we'll load cash on it for you to go for grocery shopping. There are other costs we will incur on you, which we cannot itemize. But all these costs, you ought to pay for it one way or the other. With our agency, what we have done, and remember I said we don't do salary deduction. So how do we pay? How do you pay us? You only work in lieu of the payment. So when you get to the US, as CNAs, you'll be bonded to work with us for 4 years. You'll be bonded to work with us for 4 years. During that 4 years, you cannot work with anybody else. You cannot work with any other company. you work for us for 4 years. For NCLEX applicants, you work with us for 3 years. If you're able to work for us for 4 years, all the costs we incur on you, you will not pay us. It is, so you work in lieu, in place of the fees we're going to incur on you. For NCLEX, the same 3 years, you work for us for 3 years, and that is it. And yes, during this time, 3 years, 4 years, you will get your salary in full. I think I have mentioned there's no salary deduction at least 6 times. Okay. So yes, the other benefits, the other costs, airport pickup, grocery support, support to do your social security, support to do for your transportation. Some will have medical problems when they arrive. We'll provide all that for you to make you comfortable. All right. So here is the story. I've been speaking the last 1 hour. I want to pause and unmute you. If you have a question, Zoom has a function for you to raise your hand. You raise your hand, I call you in an orderly fashion. We don't want to turn this place into a marketplace. When you begin to talk plenty when you have not been called, we'll take you off. So let me unmute you now. It's good to have some peace and quiet to do this. If we had allowed you to unmute yourself by now, there's chaos. All right, so you have been unmuted now. If you have any question, please raise your hand. Zoom has a function where you can raise your hand. You raise your hand, you need to be called first before you start talking. Okay. Do you have any question? If you are in a place where you cannot talk, you can also put your question in the chat, and I will gladly read it and then respond to it. Do you have any question, any comment, any concern, please?
Oh, stop.
Once again, any question, any comment, any concern, please? So, Mauli, you have raised your hand in the chat. That is fine. Then upon Edward. So, is it Mauli or Mauyo? Let me see. Mabel Mauyo Gomasi. Mabel, you have the floor.
Thank you for your marvelous presentation.
You're welcome.
You've done so well. Thank you. Please, my question is about the premium processing. Please, are we going to pay down 1 hour? So that will pay down 1. Thank you.
No, Mabel, maybe let me go back there and repeat it. You will see that the premium processing is part of the cost. You see all this cost here, all this cost in this table is what United Methodist will be paying for you. And premium processing is one of it. So you will not be paying. United Methodist will be paying for you. Thank you. Edward, you have the floor now.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. Edward Opong, you have the floor.
Yes, good evening, sir.
Good evening, Edward.
This is fantastic.
You're welcome, sir.
Yes, so I could see that the fee breakdown is in two phases.
Correct.
So means that the first phase will be paid by the applicant.
Correct.
It's about
Edward, I don't think I'm hearing you again. Is anybody hearing
yes,
Edward?
I said that the first phase.
Go ahead, Edward.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, I said that the first phase of the payment is paid by the applicant. Is that so?
That is correct.
Oh, okay. All right. But and the second phase is paid by the United Methodist Recruitment Service.
That is correct.
Oh, okay. 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 All right.
Thank
you
you,
very
Edward.
much. That's what I want to know.
Welcome, Edward. Next, I see Samuel Akese. Please, how about if you are unable to pass the CNA exams at your first attempt? Just like any board exams, just like your NMC exams, when you take and you fail, you can retake it. Of course, you need to pay a receipt fee to retake it. But when the time comes, that aspect will also be explained to you. But for now, to answer your question, you'll have 5 attempts at the exams, both for the NCLEX and the CNA. All right. Samuel, I hope I've answered that question. Morris, is there any age barrier concerning this program? Yes, we are not recruiting more than 40 years. We are recruiting 40 and below. Braco Sharon, I would have to know if the company can take all the costs so that the person in question can pay back once he or she gets there. Okay, so Edward, can you please mute your microphone, please? Thank you. Oh, Edward Opong, please mute your microphone. Okay, so Braco Sharon, I think you have asked me this question privately and I've answered it before. Let me say it again. For the green card we are getting you is employment-backed green card. So you need to be employed first. You sign the employment contract, and it's part of the document we present to the Immigration Service to get you your green card. And I said I'll show you the permanent labor certification shortly. You will see it. Now, for us to employ you, you need to have the right qualification. If you have the right qualification now, you pay nothing for us to file the green card for you, i.e., if you are written the any US CNA exams for any of the 50 boards of nursing, or if you have the NCLEX, you have passed the NCLEX exams with any of the 50 state boards of nursing in the US, today we'll file everything for you without paying a dime. But if you don't have that, Sharon, how do I recruit you when you don't have the right certification? So you necessarily have to go through the course, take the exams, pass, and then it will be, we'll use that to file for you. Juliet Siedu says, please, I want to know how we get rates. Juliet, your question is not clear. You can repost it. Emmanuel Debbie Owusu. Emmanuel, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you very much.
Welcome, Emmanuel.
Yeah, I like your presentation. It was so detailed.
Thank you.
Please, I would like to know which of the medical reports that can prevent you from going, aside the one that can be worked on.
Okay. The US government have their own conditions that will prevent you from going. And as an agency, we also have our own conditions to prevent you from going. But the primary ones we are concerned with, and we know the US government through the US Embassy is concerned with, the one I shared with you in my presentation. But thankfully, when you go for the test now and there are issues, you'll have time to address them before you go. All right, then Abi, how will you write the exams when you are not in Ghana after the 6 weeks online course? Okay, so Abi, the answer is even in your question. Online course, online. Okay, online means online. So wherever you are, it doesn't matter. You can be in the US right now. In actual fact, we have nurses in the US now on our program. Nurses in Saudi Arabia, nurses in Vietnam, nurses all over the world on our program. And it is online. So you can take the exams online after 16 weeks course, not 6 weeks. Okay, then Abigail says, thank you, sir, for CNA program after your medicals at the bank. Which mail will you send the receipt? You mean which email you send the receipt? Don't worry, I'll post it on the page shortly. The page where you are, we'll post it there. Then somebody, iPhone. Your name is iPhone. Please, is it possible if one does not want to be bonded and want to pay? I'm sorry, no. You will necessarily have to be bonded. So if you don't want to be bonded, please don't start the program with us. Then somebody, F. Please, the CNA exam, is it going to be subjective and objective? It is subjective, multiple choice questions. The time comes, we'll explain details about it. Yeah, Kechri, you have raised your fist. Yeah, you have the floor now. Yeah, Kechri. Oh, that's not a name. Okay, yeah, it's not ready. Gladys Akara.
Yeah, hello.
Good evening, Gladys.
Good evening.
Gladys, what's your question?
Okay, please. Yeah, thank you for the presentation.
Most welcome.
Okay, concerning the medicals, I want to ask, are we to pay for the 3 medicals at once, or we are paying each one of them?
Okay, so yeah, sorry, that's not yeah, that's Gladys. Gladys, when
Yeah.
you pay the $500, it covers all medicals you'll be doing on the program from Ghana to the US. All, including the US Embassy medicals you need to be doing.
Okay, so you pay it at once.
Yes, it's $500. When you pay it now, it covers everything.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're most welcome. Comfort, your hand is up. Your name is simply Comfort.
Yes, please, Mr. David. Thank you for the presentation.
You're welcome, Comfort.
Okay, so please, my question is, for the breakdown of the fees. To my understanding, with the second phase, you told us with the USA cost.
Yes.
So if the agency take those parts of the cost and we get to the US, that means we will bear the cost of what the agency did for the applicant, right?
I don't understand your question.
I'm saying that with the phase 2, that the agency will take the cost of when we get there and we are working, we would pay back to the agency and the other benefits too that you were talking about with the social security and all. Are we going to pay back to the agency?
Wow, Gladys, you have not been listening. You work in lieu of the cost. That is where you'll be bonded 3 years for RNs, 4 years for CNAs.
Okay. Thank you.
You are welcome, Comfort. So once you serve your bond, then you will be exempted from paying that cost United Methodist spends on you. That's the phase 2 cost. Okay. All right. A couple more questions in the chat. Somebody with the name Jean, please, how long will the process take if you have IELTS now? I don't think you have been listening. We don't need your IELTS now. We need your CNA and your NCLEX now. Then Mingi Jampo, please, what happens if you fail the test for the first attempt? I think I have answered that. How long will the process take after passing your exams? Yeah, I've explained that already. Marian, your hand is up.
Sir, Mr. Please, concerning the phase 1 of look, this thing, the phase has been broken down as and when you would pay. So I want to find out if the dollar has gone down. So if you want to take advantage of that, then you'll be like, okay, then let me pay the whole amount now. Is it allowed? Or you have to wait as and when it's time for you to pay, then you make the payment?
You are welcome to pay anytime, especially when the dollar is favorable now.
Okay, next my.
Especially when the dollar is favorable now. If you have lived long in Ghana like me, you will know that there are times the dollar comes down, there are times the dollar begins to rise. Don't wait for it to start rising. Then the next one is Prince Seller. Please, you mentioned in the presentation, if a CNA would want to take NCLEX, they should let you know. Please, I would want to know more. How is it possible with now nurses PIN? Oh, you need a nursing PIN. If you don't have the nursing
Hello?
PIN, yes.
Mr. David, please, my network went off. I'm back now. Please, did you get my question?
Is that Marianne?
Yes, please.
Yes. Marianne, I said, yes, if your money you want to pay all now, please pay all now. Take advantage of the dollar and pay. Don't wait till the dollar begins to rise.
Okay, thank you.
If your network is going off, I suspect it is raining where you are too.
Yes, it is.
Oh, sorry. Then I think it's raining the whole country. Okay. Then Selena's iPhone. What happens if you go through the NCLEX successfully and you fail to pass the IELTS? For all those who have questions about what happens when you fail the exams, I am sure this is not your first time writing exams. Anytime you fail exams, you resit. Okay? Anytime you fail an exams, you resit. You have the option of resitting. You can resit the IELTS as many times as you wish. Abigail, Abigail Gain says, please, you said you can send your spouse if you guys are legally married. What those which just have traditional marriage? Oh, Abigail, if you have traditional marriage and you want to go with your husband, please ask your husband to go and do the legal marriage. Otherwise, you go and leave him here. Brackon Sharon is back. Is it possible for one to pay everything owed before the 4 years? I don't think, Brackon, you are listening to me. You are not paying anything in 4 years. You are working in place of the cost we are spending on you. Okay? You are working in place of the cost we are spending on you. Don't worry. I think with time, it will become clear to you. Wunado, Charity, your hand is up. You have the floor now. Charity, Unado. Hello, Charity, Unado. Okay, so Charity, I don't think she is with us. Na Shome Note, sorry if I have destroyed your name. I'm sorry. Sir, please, now President Trump's want to raise ban on Ghanaian traveling to the US. Will it affect the program? No. Okay, I'm glad you asked this question. President Trump's ban is on visiting visa, especially those who go to the US with visiting visa. Visiting visa is that visa you go to the visa at the US Embassy's website, you schedule your own appointment, and these days you get a date after 1 year or so. You go for an interview, and then when you're lucky and you get a visa, you go to the US. And that visa, the first time you get 5 years visa, I think, but anytime you visit the US, the maximum you can stay there, maximum duration you can stay there is 3 months, not more than 3 months, even though you have 5-year visa. We have plenty people who got a visiting visa, tourist visa, and went there and they are there. They are not coming back to Ghana or their home country. Those are the people Trump is angry with. But you are going with a green card. A green card is the US government needs you to come and work in their country. So the US government is giving you a green card that will allow you to stay there for the rest of your life. That's the distinction. And that visa, you don't schedule your own appointment. That visa, you do not schedule your own appointment. The embassy will schedule you, send you a mail, or call you, and they will ask you to go and do medicals before you come. That visas are not under any ban. In fact, today, last week, the week before, and so on and so forth, people are going to the embassy for and that visa is called immigrant visa. You go as a permanent legal residency with permanent work permit to work. So I hope I have explained that. Priscilla is back again. Please, you mentioned in the presentation, if you see anyone to take the NCLEX, they should let you know. Please, I would want to know more. How is it possible without nurse's PIN? You would need to have a nurse PIN before you can take the NCLEX. Oh, I think I'm going back. I see Comfort. Comfort has spoken already. I see Charity. Charity did not respond. Okay, Happy. Happy, are you there? Hello, Happy.
Yes, sir, I'm here. Good evening.
Good evening. What's your question, please?
Please, somebody asked earlier whether we are going to pay for expenses incurred as by the agency? And your answer is like, we are not going to pay. That is why we are going to be bounded for 4 years.
That's correct.
And you said earlier the deductions in the salaries that we are going to be receiving should everything work out and we go.
That is correct.
There. So
That is correct.
Yeah, I just wanted to know how the bonding is. It that with the monies will be receiving within that for, is it going to be coming to our pockets or is going to go for the agency?
No, your salary comes to you. It goes to your pocket, please.
Oh, okay.
All right. Thank you. Happy.
Okay.
JD said, please, with $3,500, can one be processed and pay the rest later? JD, your question is not clear. I don't understand the question. Then Ming Japo, please, will getting pregnant in the course of the program disqualify you? No, no, no. Pregnancy will not disqualify you at all. Please go ahead and get pregnant. Please, you mentioned in the presentation, if CNA want to take NCLEX, they should let you know. Please, with the nurses pin, is it our own NMC pin or NCLEX RN pin? So, why do you people keep confusing yourselves? Okay, so for you to take the NCLEX, we registered general nurses. So if you're a nurse and you have an NMC certificate, and on that NMC certificate, they have written registered general nurse, you are welcome to take the NCLEX. We'll register you, help you, train you, fly you to go and take the NCLEX. But if you have any other certificate, we will not register you for the NCLEX. I hope that is clear. So if you have an NMC certificate, whether PIN or no PIN, you have an NMC certificate. And on top of that certificate, it says registered general nurse. Come, we'll register you for the NCLEX, okay? If you have any other certificate, please do the CNA. Edward Opong says, please, sir, is the pay rate part of the contract form? If it is, how much? Yes, the pay rate is part of the form. And everybody is going to be paid. In the US, the United States government publishes what we call prevailing wage. Prevailing wage. Everybody will be paid at the prevailing wage. And the prevailing wage varies from state to state. So Illinois' prevailing wage is different from Washington prevailing wage, is different from New York prevailing wage. But you will be paid the prevailing wage. Unado Charity, sir, I'm online now. Please, I have a question. Unado Charity, ask your question now. Unado Charity, ask your question now. Unado Charity, ask your question now. Okay, Unado Charity is not responding. JD, you have the last question. The total amount of CNA 7,000, and I'm asking if you have half of that. Can the agency help process you, and you pay the rest later? Oh, yes. JD, are you new in Jerusalem? That is our program. You can pay half, $3,500, and even that half you can pay bit by bit. Comfort, you have asked your question already. Please type it in the chat now. If you have another question, please type in the chat. So you can pay $3,500 here in Ghana. That is exactly what is in the document. Please read it. If you're a nurse, you don't have the habit of reading, you can't do this program. You must develop a reading habit. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, all of you. I'm sure you still have questions, but it's all good. We have the interview page. If you still have further questions, you can post it there. We'll answer them as we go along. And then we'll carry on. So thank you all for coming. I think somebody had just posted a question, maybe the last one. DOA. Please, can you explain the CNA process a little bit for some of us? We joined the class late. Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's late.
We have a recording. Oh, somebody's microphone is on and is disturbing us. Please mute your microphone. Now, before you go, before we go, I want to explain just in a few minutes, permanent labor certification. Now, with our process, with our agency, we get you documents, traveling documents here in Ghana before you leave for the US. So your visa, your green card, air ticket, you'll get them here in Ghana. We don't want you to go into somebody's country and then you become a handicapped person. You become wanted. You get everything here before you go. And one of the first documents we'll be filing for CNAs is the permanent labor certification. I'm going to the US Department of Labor website. Now, the US Department of Labor is equivalent to our Ghana Ministry of Labor. So that's a government agency whose work is to issue permanent labor certification. I want to reshare my screen. Just a minute. Now, you can take the website address at your own convenience, read it. So permanent labor certification. All right, so here you see US Department of Labor, and this is an official website of the United States government. US Department of Labor, Employment and Training Administration. You come down, you see permanent labor certification. What is the permanent labor certification process? I come down to program overview, and I'm going to read this. Listen carefully. It says a permanent labor certification. Somebody's microphone is on. Michael Treneboa, you have left your microphone on. 1 second, let me mute everybody. Okay. So, program overview. A permanent labor certification issued by the Department of Labor, DOL, allows an employer to hire a foreign worker to work permanently in the United States. I'm reading that first line again. A permanent labor certification issued by the Department of Labor allows an employer to hire a foreign worker to work permanently in the United States. So for a US employer like United Methodist to employ you, a Ghanaian or a Nigerian, Liberian, somebody outside the US, to come and work permanently in the United States, you need a permanent labor certification issued by the Department of Labor. In most instances, before the US employer can submit an immigration petition to the Department of Homeland Security's US Citizenship and Immigration Services, the employer must obtain a certified labor certification application from the DOL's Employment and Training Administration. The DOL must certify to the USCIS that there are not sufficient US workers able, willing, qualified, and available to accept the job opportunity in the area of intended employment, and that employment of the foreign worker will not adversely affect the wages and working conditions of similarly employed US workers. So before a US employer will leave the US and come to Ghana, come and look for you and employ you, that US employer must go to the Department of Labor, get a labor certification. And that labor certification is a signal to the US Immigration Department that there aren't sufficient, in your case, CNAs or registered nurses that are able, willing, qualified, and are available to accept the CNA job or the nursing job of the intended employment, and that employing you, the CNA, employing you, the registered nurse, who is a foreign worker, will not adversely affect the wages and working conditions of similarly employed US workers. In a nutshell, we satisfy the rule that there aren't enough US workers to work as CNAs or RNs. 2, and employing you, your salary or your wages, your working conditions will be exactly the same as US workers, so that you or the US worker is not adversely affected by your employment. This is official information from the US Department of Labor's website. So ponder over it when you take your next step. Okay. I have one last question to finish. Let me pull it up in the chat. All right. So let's see the last 2 questions. JD, your question has been answered. If you have applied a school in the US to study and they need NCLEX from you, can the person register through you, or can you assist the person in the process, and how much is he or she to pay, please? Efia, the question you have asked, I think you need to provide further and better particulars, because the question you have asked, you don't understand the question. The NCLEX exams is like the NMC exams for licensure in Ghana. You go to school, when you finish, before you go and write the NMC exams, not the other way around. So I don't understand how a school wants you to pass the NCLEX before you come to that school, when the NCLEX is the final exams you are going to take. To use the JHS example, where all of us may have gone through, it's like you asking me, you want to go to JHS. You have applied to a school to go to JHS, but the school, the JHS, is asking you to bring the BEC certificate before they admit you to JHS. Do you understand the question now? So please get in touch. Your question, you yourself, you don't understand it. Okay. Is there any specific total working hours you have to work throughout the contract? And if so, possible to terminate the contract if you meet that number of hours? Yes. So the 3 years, the 4 years in the US is actually calculated in hours. For CNAs, I think it's 6,200 and something hours. I've forgotten the exact figure. And then for NCLEX is 6,200 something hours. And then for CNAs, I think it's 7,000 or 8,000. I've forgotten, but it is clearly stated in your contract. So in the contract, you will not see years, you see the hours calculated in the contract. Mami Furua Amanfo, hello, sir, kindly post the recording on the platform. I joined late. Yes, I'm going to do that. And then iPhone, will you share the recorded meeting on the WhatsApp page for those who didn't join from the beginning? Yes, I'll do that. Comfort, I saw in the mail sent to me that the other part payment will pay when working would attract further interest. Please, what is the percentage of the interest rate? You will know it at the right time. This is not the right time to know it. Happy, please, have the agency employed CNA currently in the US, or we are in the first batch? No, you are in the third batch. There are others who are ahead of you. Then Charity Unado, sir, please, after paying half of the fees in Ghana, will it still help faster the process? Oh, yes, it will. All right. Thank you all. The rest are a repetition of questions we have already answered. Thank you for your time. If you have any question, ask on the page and it will carry on. Good night to you all and enjoy the rest of the evening. Bye-bye.